Welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is part 3 of the Johanna's Christmas festive colour book, and I'm on the double page Christmas tree and the fireplace. So in the first part I think I put the background, which was basically I traced the back page, which is all ivies and holly leaves, and I've put them onto a background in pastel pencil, and then I'm using Inktense pencils to kind of really be vivid and bright. So hopefully that's going to look like a faded Victorian wallpaper and the foreground will be bright. But I'm just going to colour the tree. So this is a live stream with live peoples. Just going to have a quick slurp of water. And it's a live stream recorded for Ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I like to keep them about an hour because I think an hour is long enough to kind of get something done. But I think sometimes they stretch over. But Ustream's not very happy about keeping things that are a couple of hours. So we kind of have a bit of a break. So I normally stream most mornings at UK, London, 8, 9, 10 London time, impromptu, and then Tuesday is normally my normal day, which is about between 1 and 2 on a Tuesday, and then I go on into the early evening. I'm a bit like Ken Dodd. Once I'm on, it's difficult getting me off. So I'm going to have a play with the Inktense pencils, and I'm playing with, I can't read that, is it Iron? I can't read that one. Iron green, beach green, and iron green. I've actually had these a long time, so they're in my little book of colours. But some of that Ionian green, I think that's 320, and that's what it is. So actually, if I have a look at this, I've got a scale, so that's quite a nice colour. What was the other one I picked up? Iron green, which is another dark, really dark, rich colour. So again, if you've got a deep green, pine forest green, and the other one looks a little bit, is that beach green is this one. So I like that for leaves, so I'm going to leave that one. It's between these two, so we can either go iron green or Ionian. So let's just have a quick flick on our piece of paper, and then I'll zoom in. So that one obviously was the green, because there's going to be a lot of green on here, so that's, I don't know, there's a pine foresty green. I think it's this one. I like this one. It's a rich, deep green. I suppose you could have both, but I don't think I want both. So I think we said that was iron green, didn't we? So let me look at that one. Yeah, that's the iron green. I think I like that one. It's going to be a nice, rich, deep green. So I shall pen in, but all I want to do, I actually might be able to see, the light's okay. And this is part 3, so I really want to get this done, but it did take quite a while to kind of trace all that on. But again, I wanted a bit of a background. Some of these I love just the way they are because I love the ivory paper. So again, I can just about get away with a bit of a scribble. And it's quite nice. I've got to be a little bit careful with the pastel. I don't want to smudge it too much. So if you scribble, you can do this scribbling, but you just don't go near the line, because when you add your water to activate the colour, it gives you, oh, sorry, my thumb cracked. It gives you the chance to get really neat, and you can manipulate the colour up to the line with a little fine paintbrush. And as you can see, I do not have a very neat point to the pencils. Two reasons: a tight Yorkshire lass, I don't want to just scrape it and push it down the drain. I don't need a point on it. I can sharpen this pencil so I've got bare colour and I have all the wood shavings thrown away, and I haven't wasted the tiniest bit of the strip of colour inside, because I want to manipulate it with the paintbrush, so you don't need to do that. And the other thing is, you're just colouring everything once here. I did the logs, I did next to each other. You can mix colours if you want to blend them next to each other, so when you activate them with water, they automatically blend. You can add two colours together to make other different colours if you're not happy. There's so many things you can do with these pencils. But I just want to scratch a little bit of colour in there. If you needed a flat, dead flat colour, then you would need to get right to the edges and be as neat as possible. But because I like the idea of having light and dark areas, and I find it a little bit difficult to use pencils for a long time, so again I like to just quickly scribble a little bit of colour on here. I might have to have a look and see if we can get some big thumb grips for these. I think you can get big grip things for children, so I would think that they'd be quite good for arthritis as well. So this is a live stream, so if anybody's got any questions, you pop them in caps. Hopefully I haven't broken Ustream yet. So I find this part the worst, but you know, it doesn't last long. This is a big area. Not many of the pages in this book are like this, so it's easier to do because you'll be scribbling a little bit and then watercolouring and scribbling a little bit, whereas this one is, you know, it's a big space. But this green should really pop out and accentuate all those gorgeous baubles. Once again, they're going to be bright, intense colours. Now, if they're very sharp, I would think you have pencil lines, but because I'm scribbling little circular motions, you don't get any lines. So I don't understand where people get those from. But again, if you've not used them and brought them down to this unsharpened kind of state, then possibly a point will be a point. But I think I've sharpened these once. In fact, I don't think I have sharpened them, and I've scratched the colour into there. I'm pretty sure I haven't sharpened them. I'm pretty sure they are the same length than they were when I bought them. They're a little bit blunt because, maybe there's an older one that I have. They're a little bit blunt because I've used them, I've scribbled the last few years, but I never get them out. I made my little book and then they went back into the drawer in their tin. Sorry, they were in the actual big box. They were in the Derwent box. which I bought separately. I didn't buy that one. I didn't buy them in the box. I bought them separately. And again, I've had these 20 odd years, whenever they came out. I think these are newer because they're dipped. Yeah, they are newer because they're dipped sideways. There's a machine that dips them sideways for the colour, whereas the Derwents and the pastels are just they're the old colour. So once you get a nice soft space, you just scribble. And I could not believe that I thought the hydras were the most fabulous, brightest colours, and yet I did, purely by accident, the hydras watercolours on the front of the baubles as a practice, and I'd never used the pencils much, so I used them like this, because I always use them from a paper palette. It's very rare I actually do this. I've never done this before, this book. I used them in the Imagimorphy and I was so excited about it. I went out and thought, I'm sure these colours are going to look awesome in the Johanna book. So these pencils inspired me to buy this book. I think I can't remember what I did in the Imagimorphy. No, I tell a fib. It was the hydras that inspired me, because I did the two birds in the Imagimorphy. And then at the back of this book, I was playing with these colours and did the baubles at the back. And I really loved them because I thought, oh, they're actually quite nice, like a pencil form. I think I've finished out. That's good because I can put this away. Now, is that a... Yes, it is. I'm going to have to just do this, I think. Now, my thumb is not happy now. I can tell you, my thumb is definitely not happy. So if I was blending, that would be me done now. Oh, sorry, could be a bark alert. It's the postman. So I apologise in advance. Yes, here comes the barky boy. I apologise in advance. It's going to be noisy. Yeah, sorry. Here he comes, barky boy. Is that Suzanne's favourite person? Yeah. So I've done that. A bit of a scribble. So I can put these pencils back. So I had never used them like this. I used them out of my little book. Oh, I do apologise. I do apologise. It's just going to be one bark after another. And now he's upset the other dog. Oh, sorry. I do apologise. He's gone. He's not going to come back. So that's good. Gone now. Sorry, could be bark alert. Alfie. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, sorry about that. I might have to... Oh, he's wanting the parrot up now. Oh, for goodness sake, Alfie. I don't know whether to just put a bark alert and stop recording. Because he's not going to shut up for a minute or two. Go away, thank you. You're not barking in here. I think that might be done. Hopefully. Sorry about that. I should have to put a bark alert. A bark alert. He's actually parked. He normally parks forward, but he's parked further back, which has kind of scuppered the entire hide the postman from Alfie. Right, so I'm going to zoom in and see if I can keep this away, my little book away, because I don't need it now. And see if I can zoom in. So I think if Dee Dee doesn't come on today, let me just see how far we get in here. No, 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 no. Goodness gracious me. I'd like to get this finished, but and yes, it's cold outside and he's got his shorts on. The postman's got his shorts on. So I don't know if you can see that colour completely pop out now. And this is a scribble. That's all I've done is a scribble. Sorry, he could bark again. I do apologise. I just have to throw something at him. Oh, hi, darling. Would you do me a favour? Would you make me a cup of sweet tea and would you take him in there? Because he's seen the postman. Thanks, darling. He should be quiet now because Amy's up. Student, bless her, getting him back into her student mode. Getting up at lunchtime. So you can tell that this just pops wonderfully. I'm going to have to waffle a lot and then he'll hear my voice and it will just drown the noise of the door banging because the postman is departing. Bless him. Because we live just on the outskirts of a village, we have a postman with a little van, like Postman Pat. Whereas in the village, there's a person that rides on their bicycle, so that would be nice because it would be quiet. Never mind. I don't know if you can see just the difference of colour from a scribble pencil. And I haven't done that very dark at all. If we look, have a look on this one. This was Ionian, did I say? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right because I can't read and I can't pronounce things. So it was iron. It must have been the iron green. So about in the middle. It does, and if you carried on, you get that green there. So if I just wet this, that's the darkest you can get on my. That's the That's the darkest you can get on my palette. So I'm just pushing that colour around. And you could go back and put darker and light if you want, but I'm just going to put that on there. I actually think I quite like just this little bit of difference. It's just enough. You know, it's a big page, is this, to colour. I want to make it nice, but I also want to get it finished. So because I'm pushing this to the edge, I've got a natural highlight into there. And again, all these baubles are going to really pop out when I do them, these vivid colours like I did on the other side. I think they actually, I think it broke out, but I think it's still there, is it? No. Just see if I can find it. It should be in there somewhere. No, it's disappeared. If I just pull this page back, you can see these really vibrant colours. Are the Inktense colours. So they're really, really bright, and they're brighter than the Hydrus, and it was the Hydrus that inspired me. So that was rather strange as well. I didn't think anything would be brighter than the Hydrus. Certainly not a pencil. So I was quite impressed with them. So they had a new lease of life. Instead of being my little book, I used them as a neat pencil. just to scribble, and then you can manipulate this colour with a damp brush. So again, the brush is doing all the hard work for you. So I'm going to finish this one, and then I'll play on this for an hour, and then I'm going to go back into the Colin Thompson one with the I think this is going to actually, I want to go around these little things, I think. So you wouldn't need a paper on here. The only reason I've got a paper on here is because the background is pastel pencil and I haven't set it yet. I'm going to wait until I finish the page, and then if I need to rub out something or make it fainter, I can use an eraser, and I can just mute the background to make the foreground pop. But I think it might do it itself, actually. I was guessing that the Derwent pastel pencils would sit behind the Derwent Inktense quite nicely. So again, the thumb's not as bad because it's the little bendy brush. Every time we put the pencil down, it's a hard surface, but this isn't. Every time we put the pencil down here, it's a soft bounce, shall we say. And so that looks quite nice. So if I have to give up all my pencils, I will try to scan in the colour books so that I can, thank you darling, thank you darling, so I can colour them on the tablet. I didn't want to try and get that across, but I could ask my daughter to do that, couldn't I? Amy? Oh, are you going upstairs? Oh, it's okay. I was going to ask you to take a photograph of the painting of Alfie on the tablet, because I can't carry the tablet through. Have you got the terrors? Going upstairs, bless her. Sorry about the bounce. The other amazing thing is, yesterday I found I have a disabled like a trolley. It's almost like a walker, but it's on wheels. So I think you can wheel it into the kitchen and make yourself something to eat, and wheel it back. But the beautiful thing is, it has a shelf underneath as well, and my little tablet sits on it perfectly. I didn't think it would, but it does. And then underneath, you need the laptop to make it work, because it's not a Cintiq where it can draw itself, because they're thousands of pounds, and or hundreds, and I just couldn't justify that. So you need a laptop to make it work. So the brains are underneath on the laptop, and then the little tablet sits on top, and I can push it to me and away from me. So it works really well. And there's enough space for the little pen. So I was very impressed with that, because sometimes you have to get lots of other things to go with it, and it's a bit of a pest. Yeah, I hope I'm still in frame. Yes, riggers are really good, aren't they? They're no pressure on your hands at all, which is why you know, I created watercolouring. I invented watercolouring for disabled people, or people that have trouble with their hands. So they are using the paintbrush to do all the work. and it's very, it's not watercolors, it's using anything that's water based, but watercoloring is colouring with a damp brush. So you can actually do it on a Bible page. It's so light. I wonder what that is. I don't like things that I don't know what they are. So that's why I invented watercolouring, so that people could use this form, and you can either use the little paper palettes or you can use a pencil. Anything that's water based. You could do it with a pastel, and your pastels, you put the pastel on here and you can wet this, and these will pop as well. I'm going to probably do that, but not in the Bennett Klein, because it's a little bit too thin. And again, I was really worried about that. I wanted the books, and then when they came in, I thought, oh my goodness, I'd forgotten how thin they were. So I can't use a damp brush, not even on there. I probably could, but I didn't want to risk it. And then finding the pastel pencils was like, oh wow, that's good. I mean, I could have used a few Caran d'Ache near colour 2s. I don't have the full set, but I could do that. But they're very vibrant, and again, I wanted to do something different. I have the Hydrus, I have the Inktense. I don't want to do another vibrant book. And again, just by chance, by sorting out these pencils for my daughter, all the other the colour soft from Derwent are beautiful. I'll show you just before I finish this little bit before I move. And this is the first time my daughter had used them. It's the first time she coloured anything in. This isn't the young lady that's at university doing animation. This is my middle daughter. Sorry, my youngest, I do apologise. Who's she's doing animal management, because she's crazy about animals. And she's the one that got the A star for using the pastels in the first place. So this is Colour Soft. My husband bought them for me. Well, I got the Graphitint from a shop, and it said the Colour Soft were half price. So instead of being, I think they were 12 or 15, instead of being about 30. And I don't know, I've forgotten. I've done another one of those. Bear with me 2 seconds, because it takes me a little while to find it. And she'd never used them before, and I realised after I bought them that I can't use them. And she was getting a little bit stressed about her exams. So this is when I bought the first colouring book for her, because I couldn't really justify buying one for me, because I didn't work. So I didn't buy anything for me. I bought her this one. 2 seconds. So it's over a year ago, and I thought it would de-stress her when she was doing her exams. I must sort my photographs out. I have thousands of photographs, and then I forget to put things on Facebook and things. I just take photographs of things because I can't remember. So if I go to a shop and I think, oh, have I got that? I can have a bit of a look through. Oops. So I said she said, could I use these pencils? I said, oh yes, I can't use them. And she just started colouring. And that was her first thing she coloured. If you can see the colours. Oops. Oops, that's the prom dress. Let me see if I can... Okay, zoom out a bit. So these are the Derwent, and she'd never blended before. So these are the Derwent has the colours, how she chooses to put colours with blues and greens together. Amazing colours. And she'd never done this before. And I think this is the menagerie. So I looked down and the dog's turned into a cat. So she did this. Oh no, Sooty, no, get down, silly boy. Oh goodness, don't be silly. Now you see he's going to come up here and push everything away. No, you're not, you're going away. Go on, shoo, shoo, shoo. I know, I'm sorry, but shoo. He was asleep on the sofa. But when he jumps up here, he moves everything because he's so big. Excuse me, a quick slurp. So where was I? So I gave her the colour soft, and I knew about the other pencils. So I thought I'd better, as you can see the difference in colour straight away. So I thought I gave her the colour soft, and then I thought, I've got these particular sleeves for the Derwent bag are for markers as well, and pens, as well as pencils. So I thought I could give them all my pencils that I can't use anymore. And so that was the idea. And then I came across this pencil set and thought, oh, I've got those as well. So, oops, I think I should have done that a different colour. I might just not do that. I'm trying to stroke downwards because that gives the impression of kind of leaves, I think, perhaps. And I think I'm probably going to put stickles on here as well because I quite like that. But I always try to put them in my little book first. So Samantha has the Colour Soft from Derwent. And again, you know, they are the most amazing pencils, but I really cannot blend with a pencil. So I haven't even tried. In fact, I don't think my daughter's actually blended. I think she just used the colours next to each other. But they are I think they're called Colour Soft. I've got the tin somewhere. But I am not even going to attempt to use those because I have enough with these. So, sorry about that, I was in a little world of my own there. I was just in a world of my own. And again, I love this because it's fairly quick. Apart from an odd mistake, it's fairly quick. And it's a lot brighter than the background, which is what I intended it to be anyway, so. Oh my goodness me, I don't know what he's barking at. Why is he barking? He's barking because somebody's going past. How on earth has he seen anybody go past? He must be in the wrong bedroom. Apologies for Alfie. He was miles away, but you can still hear him. And if she hasn't got hold of him, he will run down the stairs and burst the door open and bark at himself for 10 minutes. So this is a bit of an animal sanctuary stroke therapy stroke art show. They're just really Suzanne says, I was wondering about the Colour Soft. I haven't watched any videos of them, but I say she absolutely loves them, and that was her first attempt at using them. I've lost a paintbrush. I've lost a paintbrush. It must be on the floor. I've lost. No, I haven't. I can't count today. I want the bright yellow, and I forgot to have those this morning. You've got to take those pills with food, though. That's the only thing that's wrong with them. So if I forget, I was talking about some pills earlier. I think the golden yellow one is quite bright. Again, I just want to have a bit of a play. I think I like that one actually. So I'll just put a drop of water on there. I'll have a look at them. I've never even had them out of the tin. Yeah, I think I like that one for the stars. So I'm going to put the colour in the middle. And again, there is definitely no point on the end of that pencil. But you don't need a point. Oops, there's lots of activity outside. I have no idea why. So just stroke that there. I'll just go see if I can find them. I think they're upstairs, but I've seen the tin there, but I don't think they're in the tin. I think they're in a pencil case. I'm pretty sure I don't have them. Oh, I don't know why I did that, because I wanted a little bit to tip out there. Almost like a halo. That's what I thought I would do. There we go. So they are extremely vibrant, those. The tin is up here. Oh no. I think she's taking it back upstairs. I'll have a look at them. As I say, I've never I think I've played with them for about 5 minutes a while ago. But again, it's a pencil. I could possibly have a look at them. I could do a very quick page probably next week. I'll have a look at that if she brings them down for me, because Samantha is the girl that stays at home. She gets to the bus at 7:30 every day, whereas Amy actually is she's away. She's the one that's taking the chameleon pens, so my heart's broken because I love the chameleon pens, and they are quite easy to use. And that was my first page. Now I did photocopy it because it goes through, and I didn't want to destroy my Harry Potter book. But I was quite impressed with that. It was my first real play with them, to do what I call a proper page. I might do that next week if I write that down. So I write that down on my other thing I had to write down. That could remind me. Colour Soft. Or if I make a video in the weekend, I could, my daughter actually, she could colour a page, because we don't do anything together. My other daughter and I have I've had them such a long time. You see, these are hexagonal and these are round, and I think they're all round now. They're a bit fatter, so they're round, and this set isn't. So I had the 32, I had the 36 pack, I think. And that came in a excuse me, in a special pack in a cardboard box. Excuse me. Oh, which was a bit useless, so I put them in there. Yeah, I might ask Samantha to do that. Oh, dude, excuse me. To drink my tea. So I quite like that. It's quite bright but dark. Excuse excuse me. So we've got the colours. So if I have a look on here, oh dear, excuse me. These are the very vibrant, bright colours. Oh dear, gosh. And these were the Hydras, and actually they're brighter. Which I found very strange. So I enjoyed playing about with the pencils. And again, that's quite nice. If you're not quite sure, see, I've used excuse me. That's the Hydrus, and that's Hydrus as well. And that's Derwent pencils. The Derwent Inktense, and that's Inktense as well. Oh gosh, I've dripped my tea. Sorry. Oh, hi, Carrie Ann. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm just having a coughing moment. Sorry. So that's Inktense. That's Inktense. That's Hydrus. And that one was Hydrus. And that's Hydrus. And I put stickles. I put stickles on that, so it's kind of shiny. Oops, my light's doing something really strange. I don't know why it wanted to kind of go very bright and then go very dark. Oops. I don't know if that's better. Hi Carrie Ann, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else that's popping in? I've been playing in the Christmas, I know we're in January, but I wanted to finish my Christmas book, so I've been playing about in my Christmas page, and I should, so at the background I've put the Derwent pastel pencils, but it's the portrait set, the portraiture set, so it's very, very, very pale. And then I'm using Inktense pencils. And I'm just slurping my tea. So I think that might look quite nice when I finished it. I think the colours are going to kind of really pop out. Should be really good. If I put that there, that's better. The light's better now. Oops, it's gone again. How strange. I wish the light would sort itself out. I thought it should be really good here, because it's a strip light and there's just one. Whether it's the light outside keeps doing something, I'm not sure. Excuse me, I've just started to have a sniffle. Put that down there. Does that make any difference for the light? Oh, it's the camera brightness. I think the camera can possibly pick up a little bit of brightness. That could be it, I think, because I am at an angle, slight angle. So I'm just going to do a few baubles, and then I'm going to do the pastels in another section of this Colin Thompson book for an hour or so until I did 3 in the pastel pencils, which I quite like. I did this one, and I'd forgotten I actually had done another one, this one. Oh no, I didn't, I tell a fib. I did this one, I think. Oops. So that is the pastels, and actually I haven't blended that bit. It's very strange, isn't it? Because I've forgotten to blend that bit. Look here. So I just have to finish that bit off because I've seen it now. I don't know why I didn't finish that off. How strange. I definitely haven't blended this. How strange. I must be losing my marbles, I think. Possibly. So this is just Derwent pastel pencils scribbled in 3 colours, a light, a medium and a dark, and then gently blended together and just the dust blown away. I really could do with a smaller blending tool. Oops, and I missed a bit there, look. But there is a bit on the end there, so you've got to be a little bit careful if you forget and touch something else. So it's a good idea to do pale to dark. Well, how strange to miss that bit off. And the colour and the lights. That's better. The light's better. That's better. I don't know why the light was different. So that was the Harry Potter one, and I quite liked the idea again because it was very quick, extremely quick, but the colours were very pale. So I could have copied them exactly, but I decided to be pale. So I've left this in here to protect it, and I'll probably put some either greaseproof paper or probably you can buy a book of 20 sheets from Wilko's. So I'm going to go buy a couple of books of those. They're about £1.10p or something, and it's quite good quality. So if I take the book apart very carefully, I can slip the paper between, and then I don't have to spray it. But I just thought that that was something different to do, and again, so I quite like the idea, because I can't do the acrylics and the oils like I wanted to. I've had to kind of rethink how I work. The other thing you do is you just clean the end, and I've been a bit rough with that, so it's disintegrating a bit. You clean them with a baby wipe, and then you don't contaminate because there is colour on there a bit. I can just put that bit of colour on there. I quite like that idea. Oh, Suzanne says she's got it. Has it arrived yet? Oh, no, you're not going down there. No, I've just shooed you away. Go on, shoo. You don't normally shoo him away because he's normally extremely bad-tempered. He wants to be on the radiator. That's what he wants. Even though he's been on the sofa in the other room, he's had a sofa all to himself. But the dog barking has disturbed him, and he's the one that kind of waddles around all night and comes in and sleeps. So this is fast now. This isn't because it's pastel, but this is once you've wet and watered and diluted the Inktense, you can move them about a little bit actually, but they're normally set. So they use them for drawing on silk. I think some people do it on ceramics. These go on anything because once they're dried, that's it. So have a look at the Inktense pencils. People do them on silk paintings. You can paint on anything with these. They're not just for paper. So have a look at them, and of course the colours are just amazing. So what have I got to do now? I have to do some baubles. So I want to have a look at the colours that I used before. So I'm just going to put a piece of paper between, because it will smudge a smidgen. I'm going to have a bit of a play. I'm going to play with these pencils, and I love them in this. These are the sleeves to go in, and I've got, if I get some more pencils, I have all these. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5, and I can squeeze 6 in. I can squeeze 6 sleeves in the Derwent bag, and that's some pencils. And yeah, they're all individuals. I'm probably going to give these to my daughters, the metallics. There's one set each, and I will have the Derwents, the pastels, and the Inktense pencils, and they're all going to be in my little bag. So if I go anywhere, I can take this, and I can use my little water book, the travel book here with all the pencils in as well. But I found for big areas, like the Colin Thompson one, you know, I can't shut this because that's but this area I was panicking, thinking I can't wet this the way I did this one, although it was just kind of damp. These are Derwent watercolour pencils used from my little watercolour book. So each one is individually painted, and it's completely flat. So these have all been painted from here. And if you look on my book, you know, I've used this book a lot of times, and there's not much damage to it. It's been scribbled over twice. I revamped it once, I think. I might have revamped a few twice. Oh, that's the Inktense. You can see where I use it and how thin I use it. But you have so much control. So you get 10 colours. So even if you just scribbled on even a piece of photocopy paper, you can scribble your colours and mix them and use them. You know, you don't have to make a book like I have. So you can mix any colour combination you want. So this way, I just scribbled with the pencil, and then I went over with a very light damp brush. But I did a big space, and then that gave me the idea to do the tree. Yes, daily paper or tracing paper. The only reason I use tracing paper is because it's cheap and I don't have to cut anything. It's just ready. I can't reach it at the moment. I think it was £1.25 for 20 sheets, I think. But they'll just kind of pop into that book. They wouldn't do this one. They wouldn't do this one, but they will do the Bennett Klein one, because they are photocopy paper size, what we call A4. So I love that page. I just left it as it was to have a bit of a practice with these colours, because I want some nice baubles. So we're going to have some, again, I've just got 3 sets. And so I actually, at the moment, I wonder if I go away, but at the moment these are just loose. So that means that I can have my little cushion tray and I can have my colours next to me, and I just flip. So they're in colour order because they're just easier to find. And if I'm looking for a yellow, I just have to look in those. If I want a pinky red, I look in those. If I want a reddy red, I look at an orangey, I look in those. Rather than picking things up, which I find difficult. Oh, wonderful, Kerry. Kerry says she's making a book. Yeah. Well, I haven't given up on Derwent yet. They may have a look. I mean, they don't have to pay me anything. It's their design. I have just revamped it and given it back to them as a thank you for all these wonderful products. Because I think Derwent need to be back on top of the pencil factory. It's the oldest factory, the oldest pencil factory in the world. They've been doing it for the longest time, and they should be on the top, but they're a little bit neglected, so I think we should put Derwent back on the map. So I would like some nice bright colours, so just gonna, again, I can with a pencil I can think about the bright highlights and low lights if I want to, and that's how simple it is. a bit of a scratch, and take that colour down to there, and then take this colour down, and again, very much like the you get the exact same effect as you do. In fact, I could do one of these actually, because my daughter's taking these chameleon pens with her. But the chameleon pens, you work from light to dark, but this way you work dark from light, but you get exactly the same thing. And just like this, once you start, you don't really want to stop, especially with the Inktense, because once they're dry, you can't shift them and you'll get a line. Very much like the toning medium, once it's dry, you can get a bit of a line going on. So it works in exactly the same way, but opposite. So you just kind of take your damp brush and you just manipulate all that colour. And I think, and it's dry. It's amazing that you can do this in the Bible pages of the thinnest Bible, and it's dry. So it's never going to buckle your pages. So I quite like that one. That must have been cadmium orange. I like that one. Was it cadmium orange? It looks a little bit pale, but I'll just, yeah, it was. And what you can do is then just put a little bit more in. You can put a little bit to there, and a little brush, so you can make some more highlights if you want, low lights. The one thing you just don't do, and that's with any water-based pencil, is stick the pencil in water. Because if you stick the pencil in water, you are rotting the wood and you are damaging the stick of paint. And you don't need to. If you really want it very bright, you just touch the end with a damp brush, and you can't get any more vibrant than that. Quite like that. I've just got a really nice highlight there. Oh, hi J-Love, welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm just having a bit of a waffle. I'm having a play because I can't decide about my colours. So I thought I would just have a play. Oops. And so I've just coloured, whoopsie. I've just coloured that one. I'll just put that down. I'm just going to have a bit of a, oopsie, bit of a play. Oh, 3 times. Oh. I was a bit too close to Georgie then, but he's fine. I've got my trusty 4 little brushes that keep wanting to disappear. So I quite like that one, so I'm going to keep that one out. I think I'm just going to go for it and have a play. So I think I'm in focus. Let me have a look, see if I can find something that's kind of similar. Well, there's this one which could have gold at the bottom with a possible pinky red at the top. So again, you can be as vibrant or as pale as you want to be. Excuse me, I've just had a bit of a coughing fit. No, Sooty, no, I'm sorry, darling. No, go away. He's not going to give in. Oh, he's just not going to give in, is he? No, he's not going to give in. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I just have to completely rearrange the desk so that Sooty can sit with his bottom on the radiator. And just... Sooty, come on then. He's just wagging his tail in temper now. I've rearranged everything and he's going to disappear. Sooty, puss, come on then. Sooty. That's it. So I just have to completely rearrange everything. Sooty, come on. Sooty. You want to jump on my knee then? Can you jump on my knee? Come on then. Yes, okay then. Let's have a Sooty cam for a moment. Here's Sooty. Here's the Sooty. He thinks he's going to sit there. He just thinks he's good. He thinks he's going to sit there. This is the Sooty. Oh no, Toffee's here now. So this is Sooty. Hi Sooty. He's scarred. He's got bits of things missing from his ear because he's always fighting. He was hit by a car, so he's got a fang missing, so it looks quite funny when he yawns. So he's going to go over there because he likes to be near the radiator. Yes, I know. Come on then. Yes. And we're honoured today because we have the Toffee too. This is the little pussycat that sat in the green paint yesterday. I'm completely surrounded by pussycats because the radiator's on, isn't it? I cannot believe this. There's 2 cats sat with about a foot of each other, and Sooty's a real grumpy boy. Do not attack her because she's on my knee. So you can go over there, Toffee. No, she can't get to, just bear with me 2 seconds. Watch, she can't get to her bed. You can now, go on, if you go. There you go on your cushion, go on your cushion. Go on your cushion. Go on your cushion, that's it, under there. That's it, on your cushion. There we go. Right, let's get rid of one of them. Sorry about this. Can't believe it, can you? You get rid of the dogs and the cats start. Right. Very carefully, we can have... That's where he is. He's actually sitting here, aren't you? Can you go in your window, please? To go in with the radiator. Go in your window. Thank you. What is it about animals? And the minute you press that record button. So I need to now move everything because I'm in the dark now. Because I've had to move everything over for the boy. Oh my goodness. It was Sooty's onto his own blessing. I've got cat hairs now on here. For goodness sake, there's no peace. And I can't move that. When he sits down, he pushes everything because he wants to be where he wants to be. I just love animals. Yes, he's got a lovely fluffy bunny rabbit. It's actually a blanket for a baby that the disabled rabbit had. Oh, he's going in there now. He's going in there now. He's got his tail on the computer. Honestly, it's a madhouse. So that's a kind of a small space. I'm going to use number 1. Oh, my paintbrushes are falling off now. Right, so I'll zoom in. He's a grumpy boy, is Sooty though. He's a bit of a grumpy boy. If he's in a bad mood, and he will scratch you. Just for no reason, just because he's a grumpy boy, which is very bad. And yet Toffee's the opposite. She only tried to bite me. Oh, I forgot sellotape she will, but apart from that, she only bites when she stood in the paint and I was holding her down and Alfie was chewing on her tail and I couldn't let her go because she was covered in hydrous green paint. Oh, my laptop's playing loud music, sorry. So that's quite pretty. You don't always have to put them exactly where they are. You can, and some lovely purples. I mean, every colour on this is quite pretty. Now that looks like brown, but when you wet it, yeah, I think that's a mistake. It says violet 108. That's definitely not a violet. So I actually don't know why it's still there. No, 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 no. Go over there, Sooty. Sorry, I just had to push him out of the way. You're not play. He's going to be naughty now. He's going to bite me now. If you do, I'll be very cross. Because I just got rid of one scratch that I had for Christmas. I just got rid of that one because I moved him out of the way. No. He's attacking one of the little birds. He's just come over here to be naughty. He's attacking one of the Christmas decorations. He's just got devilment on his face. You can just tell. He's as bad as Alfie. So I want a purple. Let me have a look for a little purple. What's this one called? Oh gosh, this is so old. It's lost its colour name. Oh, it's called Deep Violet. Oh, I think this might be nice. Oh, that's gorgeous. So I think we can just have a little bit in here. And again, I can cope with this. It's just scratching a little tiny bit of colour. And I can just about cope with that. So I actually want the biggest brush for that. Sorry about my throat. It's just decided it wants to. So again, once you've activated it, you want to kind of go for it and smush it around a bit wherever you want it, because you know it's been activated and you don't want really a line. So you can push this whatever you wanted, and you can get a really nice pretty bauble effect. And if you don't manage to do it in one, there seems to be a bit of a line on that. I can go back in there with some deeper by touching the end and kind of really riching that up. It doesn't look as pretty as that, but it's a very, very pretty violet colour, is that one. In fact, I'm going to have to move that. It's called Deep Violet, and it isn't. I'm going to move it. I decided it needs moving. So we've had a red, and we've had a. You see, the only thing is that is a little bit raised because I wet it twice, whereas the other one is completely. It's going to dry flat, but that one's completely dried straight away, which is really good if you're going to put your hand on it. What else have we got? Red, really nice, vibrant red. And tangerine is quite a nice colour as well. So we could have. Oh, I like that one. So we want a red, cherry red. We could have a cherry red with a green. It's very Christmassy. we need to pick rather a bright green. Apple green, I think, is really, really Christmassy, and it won't fade away on that tree. A damp brush. I shall do the green first. Now I haven't got a highlight and a low light on that one, but I don't really need one because it's got two colours with it. But what you could do is, with a clean brush, is touch and get some really nice rich colour going, and then go in there. I actually think I prefer that one to the other green, actually. Look. So that's automatically done that. Now my light's come again, so apologies, that's better. So we've got three colours on our tree now. The light's different because I've had to move everything because Sooty's now taken residence. Oh, the paintbrushes keep moving now. And if I try to put anything near him, he'll want to attack it because he's just in that mood. He's in that mood today. And I do try to put them away properly, just because I don't have a lot of pencils rolling around everywhere. So apologies for arms in the way. And I do tend to kind of want them the right way around so I can read them, just purely because I use my little book of colours a lot. So we could have a teal colour, dark aquamarine. And if I just move that like this, my light should change. Whoops, again. Oops, sorry, oh, that's as far as it's going to go. Is it okay then? I hope my light's okay. But the problem I've got now is I can't see chat, so apologies. I've had to move the laptop away from the monster. Who's now looking at me thinking, I'm bored. I haven't killed anything for a few minutes. I'm bored. What can I possibly kill? So just by, oops, scraping that little bit of colour into there. And the other good thing is, if you get one pencil out, you've got one gap. if you've got the full set. So that's always nice, because you know exactly where it goes if you put it back there. If you get all your pencils out, you've got to think about where they go. So again, I do it because it's easy. So I'm possibly going to have a bit of red in there, so I can either just smush that purple or that blue. And we're going to get a highlight, I think, on there. Not much of one, but just a little bit of one. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm working in the Johanna's Christmas colour festive book, because I want to finish it, and I don't want to put it away till next year. So I'm just having a bit of a play with some colour. I think the laptop may move on its own in a moment. I think I might have a purple one and possibly a pink one here. Yeah, sooty is definitely on the warpath. So I'm now surrounded by cats because the dogs are upstairs. And so I got my laptop, but again, it's now got a cat sat on it, so it's going to be a bit warm. So I've got a bit of a highlight, but if I want a bit more, I just take a little bit off the end. And I suggest you do this either over something so you don't splash your work, or just take your pencil to the side. But obviously, because I want to show you what I'm doing, I didn't do that. I think I like the brighter colour actually, so we don't have a highlight on that one. Let's see if we can get a highlight on that one. Just putting, again, I went back in it when it was dry and I shouldn't have done, but it's done now. It's a little bit of a highlight on it. So we could have almost a lemony green, couldn't we? And again, this is where it becomes nice and peaceful and you're just working in small spaces with a damp brush and a little bit of a scratchy colour is quite good. Oops, got to be a little bit careful. This brush is probably a bit big. That was a very small space. Oh, sorry, I've just done that little one down there. I think I like red and green, so I'm going to go for red and green there. So thank you for joining me. This is a live stream for ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. To excuse me, I've just started with there are some kind of really nice bright greens about, but I'm just going to put a little bit of darkness on that one, and then a damp brush. Well, it's got attacked by the sooty then, and again that little bit of red tease that green down. And then we want a little bit of green in between. I should have done that with a smaller brush really, but there should be some really nice blue baubles about. Okay, I've got another kind of blue, and there's that really nice golden orange colour. Tease that colour down there and tease that colour up there to give you a little bit of a highlight if you want. So if anybody's got any questions, I'll keep having a look. I'm still working in this Johanna Basford colour book because I want it finished. I'm just putting the tiniest amount of colour so that I can And I'm going to use the 10-0 rigger because I want a nice kind of a gentle highlight up to the blue. And again, the blue, just a gentle highlight up. And if you want it just that bit darker, you just need a tiniest amount of colour and just run that down there. And you've got a bit of a shadow. Whoopsie. Keep getting silly messages. Oh, you have a chi-chi, says Andy. He's holding on to something. He has to go to sleep holding on to something. I don't know why, but he does. So he's holding on to the bottom of the Christmas tree, which doesn't hold well when he stretches because he's got big, huge paws. So quite like some of these colours. I've got a chain to go across. I could have little pale, very pale lights. I think this is the nicest one, so we're going to put some little pale lights across there. I suppose it could be cherry, but I might do the other one in red. These look like little pale fairy lights. And again, just a little bit of a mark in there. I think that's all there is. And we've got this garland twice. I quite like this. So I'm going to do this one with the green and red. So I'm just putting a little bit of colour. And again, my thumb does not like this at all. But here we go. So you can either colour it all in pencil, and then when you go away, just take a rigger with you. You need one paintbrush or 4 little ones. And so all your pencils can stay at home, and all your colours ready there just to kind of pop out. Or you can do it bit by bit. So you can, like I do, I normally do one colour and think, right, what do I want next to it? If I put that next to that, is it going to work? So I should have really thought that those two should not have been together because they're in a line now. So that one should have been maybe down there. But it's a Christmas tree. It's done. You may not notice it when they're all done, but I notice it now. You don't really want them in a line if you can help it. If you're obsessive about your Christmas tree, then you want your baubles in alignment. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for my YouTubers for watching. And I appreciate the fact that anybody wants to watch me colour my little books. I hope I pass on a few hints and tips. I quite like working in this little book. And of course, Christmas you can do some really bright colours. So I like working in different water media with different ones. But they've all got to be a little bit easy for me. So that looks quite pretty. I do apologise, I wasn't in frame. I'm sorry about that. So I'll show you what I did with the top one. I used this red and I just kind of did this across. So that's the bit that my thumb didn't like. And then just activate it. And you can see these colours just completely jump out. But I might do another one that's very pale, we'll have to see. So you can see, you know, you can have these bright colours, but you can also, that one was red poppy. So in my little book, I'll show you red poppy. I think the red's at the back. So red poppy is that one. So that's red poppy. So that's the darkest, but you can also get that beautiful pastel colour there. So I might actually try to do a Bennett Klein one, see what happens. I might do a Bennett Klein one in Derwent Inktense as a pastel, in pastel colours, and see if we can do it. And then you only need to buy one set of pencils. I've got a purple here, so we can have a bit of a purpley one there. You just want the tiniest amount of colour, and then you can manipulate that where you want it. And I think I'd like this. I'm going to put that one on it there, I think. And I did pick that one because it had a point. So, again, I'm going with the smallest brush this time. Oh, sorry, I thought I was in frame. I can't see the screen because it's now been sooty-tized. Sooty-tized. Everything normally gets alpha-tized, but this has been sooty-tized. I want that to be a purpley red, and then I want this to be a purpley orangey red. I am actually going to put some stickles on my baubles to make them sparkle. And then when I finish this, I'm going to finish the baubles, I think. What time are we on now? Oh, we've got an hour and 25 minutes. I might stop this one and do the Colin Thompson one, because I've done 2 of these today. I try to do different things so people don't get really bored. So if I pan out here, oops, you can see, I'll just put that up there slightly. You can see my pencils. I say I've had to move everything. So we've done, oops, we've done the tree and a few baubles, and already it looks a lot brighter. So hopefully when I get all this front done, it's going to be really bright, and then I can just very carefully, just watching the cat. But I do like the little highlights that I've managed to get on there, and the logs and the wood fire and things. So I think that's got to be really dark. That could be almost, oh dear me, almost be a black, because then they will pop out. In fact, I might do that very quickly. I think I said that bark was a very dark brown. I don't want black. I don't do black. Really not a good colour, but that's almost a dark chocolatey colour, or a warm grey. That's almost a Payne's grey. It's a warm grey. Actually, I tell a lie, Payne's grey is a little bit cool, but it does have French ultramarine in it, which has purple. It has a bit of red in it, so I'm just going to put the slightest, just see how quick this is, just the slightest. I can always go back down here again, just to here twice. I've done it once, and then because these are blunt, they have a really soft edge. There's no sharp pencils digging in, it's just lovely and soft, and I can just give that an extra kind of a bit of a rub, just to give that little bit of darkness. I want to see that orange pop out. So I need the biggest brush, which is the number 3. I possibly could do with a bigger brush, but we'll do this one first. So as soon as you activate this, you can see let me see if I can see. I think the light's popped out again. I think that's because of sooty. See if I can. I'll go into there a minute. If I move this up carefully, I need a damper brush, but again, I'm not bothered that it's different because I want it to be a little bit different. I'm just kind of smushing that darkness down there. It's not black. And again, start here, and this brush is probably a little bit too wet, but it will be fine. And then you want the light hitting the back of the hearth. And I'm a little bit at the wrong angle than I should be. So we'll go back over here and kind of activate all that colour that now is just pure colour sitting on that paper. It's not a pencil anymore. And you can go over it if you don't get it perfect the first time. You can use a damp brush or a wetter brush. Tease all that darkness behind those flames because they'll really pop out now. So if anybody's got any questions, so this is going to be the end of part 3, I think, of this one. And hopefully we'll finish this off next week. So again, I think it's not perfect, but I quite like the idea that there's going to be a little bit of dark. You can actually put more dark at the top here and highlight that, and then kind of bring it in a bit so we don't have any harsh lines. You can do that all the way around. I always think it's easier to turn. So damp brush, touch the end of this colour, mix it in, and then kind of draw it down into there. Turn it again and really trying to draw that into there. Sorry about the noisy laptop's having a moment, but it does have a puss near it, so it has a puddy tat. And then these could be very dark, so I could do these Chinese ink, I think. Either Chinese ink or ink black. I'll have a bit of a play. I think that would look quite nice. So I'll pan out again and we'll see where we've got to. Yeah, that's made a bit of a difference, is that? And then if these are too light, as I say, they're just pastel that have been blended slightly with a blending tool, so I can always take I can actually rub them completely off with an eraser if I wanted, or I can mute them, but it depends how bright this is going to be. I might do it Victorian wood, and then we've got the stockings and the candles. So that's the end of part 3 of our Johanna Basford's Christmas colour book. So thank you for watching.